Hey, She Army, and welcome to episode 59 of the Simply She podcast. I'm your host, Crystal Renee, and today we're going to be talking about having a vision that others cannot see. So, since there is no pause, no rewind because we're live, we are definitely unfiltered and we want audience participation. So, please make sure that you allow StreamYard access to be able to leave questions and comments under your name so that we can see who you are. We definitely love questions. We love comments. You can revoke access from StreamYard at any time, but for us to be able to see who you are and address you by name, we need you to allow StreamYard access to be able to do that. So don't be shy. We want to hear from you. So this evening, I wanted to talk about having a vision that others cannot see. And oftentimes, as entrepreneurs, we experience this, especially when we first start. People will ask us, or assume that maybe we're a little crazy and doubt us every step of the way. But one thing that I have learned is to focus and really be laser focused, in fact, and just keep God first in all that you do. And my guest tonight can tell us a thing or two about staying in constant prayer and focusing on your purpose and that vision that God has downloaded to you. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Georgette. Georgette LittleJohn is a trailblazer and a champion for positive change. She also has a passion for leadership and commitment to the professional development of others, especially women, and she ignites her to move through transformation. Her success as a mentor, preaker, and advisor through prayer has positioned her as one of the most sought after prayer warriors for women, and she has decided to broaden her horizon and follow her purpose that God has shown her. Georgette created prayer tours and the Ignite Her Country Club, where prayer is at the premise and God's direction leads all she does. She stands on First Thessalonians 5:17. Welcome, Georgette, to the show.
Hey, Crystal. I hope you can hear me. I saw my internet do something crazy again. Oh my goodness, y'all. Hey, Crystal. I'm over here in the dark, y'all. No power. Thank you for having me here tonight. Hopefully, this internet and this stuff will work and that you guys can hear me. But thank you for having me here. I'm super excited to be here.
Yay, I'm excited to have you on the show. And I know we've known each other for quite a while now. I don't even know how many
Yeah,
years.
I don't
It's
know.
been a minute. I was trying to think. I was
Yes.
like, I don't know. um, but I definitely appreciate you. Appreciate your support over the years. And I did want to ask you, like, how did you get started in business? I know you've had several businesses, but I think, we would all like to know how you got started.
Well, I mean, yes, I have had several businesses and it's been great and they all lead and, end up right here where I am now. And so everything that we do, I think I've always had that business bug, I guess, as we entrepreneurs say, we knew we were always wanted to, own our own business and just to be in business for ourselves. And so, I mean, it started as long as I can't even remember, I think even when I was younger, just trying to think of ways that I can hustle and just make money and do things. And, always in that mindset of wanting to work for myself and what it feels like to have a business and just always been business minded. So for as long as I can remember, and I've done a little bit of everything. I mean, I've done a little bit of everything. I'm serious. So yes.
Absolutely. I think my first business was at the age of 16. So I think I told you I sold designer bags on eBay. I opened an eBay store without my mother's permission. I said I was 18. And
Oh,
on the interwebs, I opened
wow.
an eBay store. I mean, my rationale behind it was that I'm on the internet and I'm on eBay looking at things. probably at least 4 hours a day, maybe. I'd like seriously, like I was on there a lot as kids. I was like, I'm on here a lot. Let me just open up this store that I be trying to. Cause I think back then eBay was really popular, trying to bid on things, and I would always lose. So I was like, let me open up my own store because
Yeah.
I'm tired of losing. And it was like, I was into designer bags when I was in high school. That was the cool thing. And so I was like, I
Yes.
could sell this and make money. And so that's what I decided to do. I had found me a supplier overseas, opened up the store, got customers. Like it was crazy. And then my supplier got shut down and then the store had to close.
Wow.
My mother just was
Wow.
like what possessed you to even to do this? Like I got in trouble, y'all. I got in trouble. So don't do things like that without your parents' permission. Just saying.
Exactly. Exactly. That is funny. Yeah, you always have that mentality of, how can I make money? How can I but for me it was always about, just learning something new too. Like how can I make this work? Like how can I do something and make this work and just strategize in different ways of earning money and things like that. So that's what it was about for me. So yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's funny though. I had an eBay store too though. I ain't even gonna lie. I used to sell stuff on eBay too.
That's something, a little something to everything, right? So,
Yes.
uh, I talked a little bit about the Ignite Her movement. So tell us about that. Tell us about the Ignite Her movement. What is it about, and how can we be a part of it?
Yes. So Ignite Her Country Club, of course, was birthed during COVID and last year, and God just had me pivoting and doing some different things. You always think you're gonna be doing something, but sometimes you just have to pivot and make things work, and it's okay. That's a part of being in business. And so the Ignite Her movement is all about just empowering and equipping women to really step into their purpose. We are all here created to do something. I don't care. It's something, and it's all connected. And so it's about equipping her and igniting the woman into her purpose. The woman who has been scared to birth something or has something down in her belly and she knows that it's been gnawing at her and gnawing at her, but she doesn't even know where to start, where to begin, to just be able to come and find a community of other women who are there to like encourage her, inspire her, and like, girl, go on and birth that baby, girl, go on and birth that baby. And using prayer though at the premise of all of that, because prayer has always been what has gotten me through. Prayer has been at the foundation of everything that we do. And look, now the pandemic, I mean, hello. And so that's what it's all about. And just, coming in and finding your tribe. And so being there and having people to hold you accountable for those things. We say we want to do things, but then we don't have anyone to hold us accountable. We don't have anyone pushing us and telling us the truth and like, come on, girl, you can do it. And so that's
Mhm.
what this movement is all about. And so I love it. And yeah, and why not have prayer at the premise of all of that to keep you motivated? Like First Thessalonians 5:17, never stop praying because it's so important. So important.
Absolutely. We're gonna come back to the Ignite Her Country Club in just a minute,
Hmm.
but I want to know, why do they call you the Preaker? I mean, I already know, but I think the Simply She Army wants to know why they call you the Preaker.
So I know everyone's like Preaker. I'm gonna Google that. I'm like, you can Google it, but okay, you can Google it, but all you're gonna see is me because it's something that was made up. So I was actually going to be speaking at my church back. This was in 2019, I believe, September. I was going to be speaking for Mission Sunday at my church, and I was talking to my girlfriend Justina, and we were brainstorming. And I'm like, I need a name, like, because I'm not a preacher, I'm not a pastor, I don't claim to be that. That's not what I am, but I do speak. And so we're just talking, and I'm like, I need a name, and I'm like, I mean, I'm not a pastor, but I do a little preaching. I got that word in me a little bit. And so we're just talking and brainstorming. And she was like, "You're going to be preaching." And I was like, "Preaching? What?" And she was like, "Yeah, you're going to be doing a little bit of preaching and a whole lot of speaking. So you put it together and you got preaching." She was like, "You a preaker because you're going to be preaching." And I was like, "Oh, we on to something here." And so ever since then, it just stuck because I was like, "Oh my God." And it was unique. I love, when you find those different things. I'm big on words anyway. That's what I do every day when I'm praying. Like, I always break down a word. And so it was just perfect. And it was just fitting. I had never heard of it. It was something that was new, it was different. And so it just stuck. So ever since then, I just been known as the Preaker.
Yeah, I
So
think it's so important, like you said, like you definitely have found your unique niche and what makes you you, and like nobody else can ever take that away from you, and I love that. So,
yes.
she done made up a whole word, y'all.
Shout out to my girl. I have to give credit where credit is due. It was actually Justina. Like, but that's what this whole thing, even like, the She Army and Ignite Her, is about finding those people that you can brainstorm and brain dump. And then the more you are able to do that, like, it's just like things just, and you just be like, wow, because I said preaching and speaking, and it just hit her and she was like, "Preak." And I was like, "Oh my goodness." And so, yeah, I mean, it's so important it's so important. I know you know that. 'Cause look, you can tell when I get excited, like I start doing my hands like this and stuff, but it's so important. Like, I want people to know, like the women to know how important it is to truly find your tribe, like, because that's when you begin to thrive, you know what I mean? And so it's just important. But yeah, I'm gonna get off my soapbox on that one, but I'm just saying.
Yes, absolutely. We believe in finding our tribe, so I have to agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I did want to ask, and this is like what the whole episode is about, y'all. Because I feel like Georgette is a true visionary, and so when I was trying to figure out what we were going to talk about today, I was like, well, I think we should talk about having a vision because more often than not, true entrepreneurs are visionary type people. Like we see way far ahead. We can see 50 years, 50 years ahead, and we'll backwards plan back right up on into that vision. Right. And y'all just be like, I don't even know. No one knows what you're talking about. So I mean, it's true. I definitely people have given me the wide eyed look, like you just be knowing things and doing things. I'm like, yeah, you'll see down the line, you'll see. But I wanted to ask you, because I feel like it can sometimes be difficult. What ideas and or vision have you had over the years that people have questioned you on, and how did you handle that?
Well, right where I am right now, the whole birth of, prayer tours and Ignite Her. I mean, people are like, prayer tours, what is that? Shoot, Crystal, I didn't even know. I was like, what the world is that? Like, and God downloaded this vision to me of prayer tours. And I'm like, what is that, God? What does that even mean? Like, I didn't even understand it. Like, how, what? And he'll do that. Like, he'll give you glimpse of things. And like you said, like, you'll see the future, like, and you see the big picture, but then it's like, okay, how do I get there? What does that look like? What is that gonna, and how do I even explain this to people? And the very first person that I called and told, they were like, what do you, okay, they were so confused, and I was confused because I didn't know either. And God told me, I didn't tell you to open your mouth, I just told you to write it down. And so I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, definitely. I mean, just I get stuff all the time. And so we just have to be careful because sometimes we have these visions and we see these things, and sometimes it's not to be shared, it's just to be written down for a later time. And so I would definitely just have to say prayer tours. But he knew that we were going to be going into this pandemic where prayer would be so important. And now, guess what? When you look around, what all do you see? Everyone now is putting prayer. People are not afraid to talk about prayer. Everyone is, making sure that they are having these kingdom businesses. Kingdom businesses have been coming up like this, and people are turning back to prayer. And so the vision was like, oh my goodness, what is this and how do I handle it? But as when people don't understand your vision, it's okay. Like, as long, guess what? Because they weren't in on the call. They weren't in on the call when he told you what your vision was. Just like I can't sit here and say, okay, Crystal, I know what the vision is that he gave you. He gave it to you. I can assist you and and help you when you explain it to me for the part that I am to help you with, because everyone, we all are connected and we all have a little role to play in the people that he puts us together to be with. And so just be careful. I would just say, just be careful when you get your new visions. And if you go to somebody and they don't understand, don't let that be a deterrent. Like, don't let that be something that stops you from the vision that you clearly either heard, that you clearly even either know, that you know that this thing is going to work. And if you're the only one that know it's going to work, then you better work that thing and work that thing and rework that thing until it starts to work. And that's where a lot of people, get discouraged because they don't really see it coming into play the way they thought it was going to play. So you have to be very flexible and trusting and patient. So all of those things. But yeah, people were like, what? But now, guess what? People get it now. They understand prayer tools. Can you pray for me? I got people asking me all the time. Can you pray for me? Can you, all the time? Because now they see it, because God was preparing me for something that was going to be so much bigger than what the world was even ready for. And so I'm just like, wow, you entrusted me, like me, Georgette, with that. And he's like, yeah. And so, and it's still coming into, things are still being revealed. And so you just have to have that open mind and just be, willing to, like, okay, God, I'm going to trust you. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, y'all. I ain't saying, sister never said it was easy. So you gotta, it get hard sometimes, but you just gotta keep pushing and showing up for yourself, showing up every day, trusting and believing that he has something for you bigger. And sometimes it's your family who don't understand, your closest friends. And so that's why it's important to connect with people who, they may not understand it, but they still got your back no matter what. They like, all right, I don't understand, this girl crazy, but I'm a ride with her, and so that's where, you have to turn to those people who, even if they don't understand it, but they know who you are and they know you to the very core, and they trust you, and they know, what you're capable of. They've seen what you've done in the past, and they know that you've made things work. And so that's what you do. So
Yes,
mhm.
absolutely. That is, I hope y'all were taking notes. I hope y'all were listening, because Georgette just dropped the gem on y'all right there if you missed it. But I think for me, what I took from that was, what you get from God isn't for everybody. And so, and sometimes he gives you the what, and the lesson that you have to learn is the how, right?
Mm.
So, you know what I mean? Like, you, like, how are you gonna make this happen? That's for that, in that lesson or whatever he gave to you through your life. That's how you figure out the how. And so, or he puts people in your life to help you with the how. And that's what I've discovered, in my journey, along the way. And just in terms of ideas that I've had so many people tell me that, I wouldn't be able to be where I am today, pretty much, in anything. Just, me having a studio, that wasn't going to work. And then the podcast, that wasn't going to work.
Mhm.
Me being able to make it to the C level at my job, that wasn't going to happen. That wasn't going to work. Like, it was just so much. But, just from what you said, I had to realize that God gave me that vision and not anybody else. So for those people who supported me with it, those are the people that kept closest to me, and helped me to keep going. So yes, guys, yes, Georgia just dropped some nuggets. So with that, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about pivoting, because I think that happens a lot, especially as an entrepreneur, and I mean, really in life, we have to make decisions. We have to pivot, and go another direction. So
Mhm.
whether it's like just in life or in your entrepreneurship journey, what's changed and how have you had to pivot? What's an example of having to pivot over the years, and how did you handle that?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody had to pivot last year, with the whole COVID, and we had to figure out now because the whole Ignite Her and prayer tours, all of that was supposed to be out and about. Just even last year, I was supposed to do a 3-city tour starting in June. Like I was going to be in Philly, and then I was going to be in Atlanta, and then coming back here, closing out in the DMV. And I had to change that. I couldn't do that because we were in the pandemic and everything shut down literally, right before I decided. And I had been working on this thing since like January, February, like, okay, I'm going on a 3-city tour coming to you guys, and it was like, boom. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And so I had to, go back and do some revamping and like, okay, what is this gonna look? Okay, God, really, you gave me this, and now this is happening. Like, come on now, this is what's going on here. That's how I talk to him. I'm like, are you for real right now? I mean, like, I talk to him just like I'm talking to you, Crystal. I'm like, I know he'd be like, Lord, here come this crazy child again. So I had to pivot though, and that meant that I had to start doing things virtually, just like, we're doing now. And how is it going to look? Like, what is this going to do? And just getting people now used to doing virtual events and coming up with, ways to keep people interested and to keep people engaged virtually. And so definitely had to pivot. We're still pivoting because things are opening up slowly, but they're not really opening, and people are not, comfortable still going out. So it's so many different things, but that's just a part of business. And that comes also with, just time, and as you grow and as you get, more into the entrepreneurship, and as you just get older as well. I mean, it's about time and growth, and all of those things will help you to learn how to pivot your business and pivot yourself. I mean, how to pivot, because we are forever evolving as well. I'm not the same person that I was 2 years ago. I'm probably not even the same person I was last year at this time. And so it's always about making sure that you are continuing evolving yourself and then evolving your business. And that doesn't mean that, it didn't work or this or that. I mean, it's just the nature of being in business that we're always continuing to look, how can I pivot? How can I do things better? How can I grow? What's working? What's not working? And so it's just a process that we have to go through.
Absolutely. Well
Mhm.
said.
Yes. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm getting darker and darker, fading on. I keep praying to my light. Come on to the light. We have no power over here, so that's why I'm so dark. I've been praying, but God ain't listening to me on this one. He told me I had the power to let there be light, but there's no light.
Yes, y'all. See, we live and Georgette has no power. So she's still doing the interview anyway,
Yes,
which I'm
yes.
thankful for. But it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna make it. We getting
We
there.
go. Absolutely.
So in talking and keeping with the vision and thinking about vision that you have, do you feel like it's your responsibility, I guess, all in all, to keep the vision alive?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you have to keep your vision alive. If you have no vision, you have no life. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Like, vision to me is everything. I mean, that's just like a person who could see and now they lose their sight. Like, it's so difficult for them. Eventually, yes, they will learn to, but I think it's so much harder for someone. If you're born blind, then that's all you know. But if you have vision and then you lost vision, it's so much harder, I'm sure, to, I mean, I don't know, I've never experienced that, but I'm just going off of what I've heard, that it's much harder for people to start coping and all of those things. Eventually they do, but it's a hard process. And so even for us, like, vision is everything, and it's just, for me, that's life. And so absolutely, you have to keep your vision going. You have to always have vision. You have to always stay focused on something. And so, yeah, absolutely. And that vision may change. Like I said, it may pivot, it may change, it may look differently. It may, you may have think that it's going to go one way and it's something else. I never thought that I would be here. My vision, if I go back and look at my vision, I'm sure 5 years ago, it's nothing where I am right now. And so, and it's okay. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. And so just embrace it. Like, don't, a lot of people, we kind of don't embrace that vision, but embrace it and just continue to go with it, and just continue to set your goals. And they may change. You may have to maneuver. You may have to pivot again, or, go through something, but absolutely keep that vision burning. That's just like your lifeline. Like, it's everything. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think along the same vein, and keeping with vision, and you talked about a little bit earlier, but what advice would you give women that have a vision that are they're afraid to take that first step and make it become a reality? What advice would you give them?
Mm. So I told you guys that I love words. So I took the word vision, and I broke it down, because this, I think, is so, so important. Um, that we keep it, that we birth it, and it's gonna be painful. I always relate it like to having a baby, and when you have that baby, like, it's painful as you're in that delivery room and you screaming and you cussing everybody out, and you like, I will never do this again. Never, 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 never. But then when the baby comes out, like, you suddenly forget all of the pain that you just went through. And so, as you're birthing that baby, I want you guys, I took the word vision and I broke it down. So the V stands for value, and that you need to value yourself. The I, intentional. Be intentional every day. Set intentions. Be intentional every day. The S is to be steadfast and immovable. Immovable. Stay focused on you. I think a lot of we and I've been guilty of it, and every once in a while I'm still a little guilty of it. But you got to stay focused. You have to stay immovable in your own lane, steadfast. That means one direction, in a focused direction, not looking to the left, not looking to the right. Just like when the horses are racing, they put blinders on the horses. You know why they do that, Crystal? Because they need them to stay straight focused in their lane. And they put
Mhm.
the blinders because if the horse turns their head, they can't see the left or the right. So they don't know where they are in the race. Just stay steadfast in your own thing. The social media, all, it's okay to look, but just stay focused, steadfast. The other I in vision is be imaginative, like dream big and scary. Like, if your dreams and if they're not scaring you, if your vision does not have you crying, sitting and shaking in the corner, like, what in the world? This is never, then dream bigger, dream bigger. And then the O, be obedient. Be obedient to the whispers of God. Be obedient to his words, and be obedient to the direction that he's taking you. If he's telling you to go left, do not go right, because you don't want to go left, because it's scary to go left. It's uncomfortable to go left. Okay, well, you still got to go left. Okay. And then the N in vision, never, let me say it again, never, forever, ever, ever give up. Never, never.
That's
So
vision,
that's
y'all.
that's vision, y'all. Yes. That's what I want to say for vision. And birth
Yeah.
that baby. Hmm. Yes.
Yes, that was very powerful. Give us the hold on, wait a minute. I was like, let me write this down. So give us the give us the VISION one more time.
Value, intentional, steadfast, imaginative, obedient, and never give up.
Hope y'all taking notes. The Preaker has spoken.
The Preaker has preached, okay?
You're right. The Preaker has preached. That's right. Preaker has preached.
Better take notes.
Speaking of preaching, I guess we could say that. Tell us about your podcast, because you have a podcast too.
Yes, I love I tell you, like preaking is what I'm so in my element. I love my podcast. I have a podcast called Praying and Preaking, and Crystal has been a guest, and I thank Crystal for coming on. But it's just about meeting people, sitting down, because I love to preach, I love to talk, but coming in and having guests sit down and chit chat with me so we can talk about everyday life and just talk about how prayer has changed that, how prayer has helped them along the way, but just to sit down and chit chat and let people know that, that this thing called life is not easy, but we can make it, and just to have a little bit of fun and just to get to know people. And I always say, if I can just reach one person, if I can just help one person through this podcast, through the messages that God continues to give me, then that's what it's all about. And I love it anyway. I love sitting down and just meeting new people, talking to new people, and just learning something new. We can learn something from everyone. And it's not even about people who, I've had some people on there who kind of, they believe before and they don't believe, it's different things. So I talk to everybody. You don't have to, I talk to everybody. That's what I say, because we all have to come together, and I can learn something from them. They can learn something from me. And who knows, I may be the person that drops a seed into their life that may help them see God, or see something, or start to pray, or who knows. And so, yeah, but I love it. Praying and preaching, a time to show, tell, and know how prayer has changed things. And so, yeah, I love it.
How can we listen to it? What platform is it on?
It is on all the streaming platforms. It's through Red Circle. You can get it on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music. Yeah, pretty much everything. So, absolutely.
Yes, on all platforms, y'all.
All platforms. Yes, and if you would like to be a guest, just hit me up and we'll see if you're fit to come in and sit on down. I don't see why you wouldn't. So I had someone, she was like, Georgette, I don't know. Like, I mean, I see things a little different. I said, it's okay. We can learn from each other. So yeah, just hit me up if you're interested.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So what new projects are you working on?
Ooh, I'm excited. So, we are coming up in June. I can't believe, like, we are 6 months in. We got 6 months left. Can you believe it? Like, this year has gone by. And so I am going to be coming up with some events for the rest of the year. It is called, we are putting out a APB on everybody. Ignite Her is coming out with the APB, all points bulletin. So we are going to be armed and dangerous for the next 6 months of the year, closing out the year, making sure that you are armed and dangerous and ready. So next month I have the Pray Her tours will be coming up. Then after that, I have another. So there will be another event each month until the end of the year. And so all points bulletin, we are looking for y'all. We coming to get y'all to make sure y'all are armed and dangerous for the rest of the year. So, but the Pray Her tour, the first event, I won't say, but just keep watching. But the Pray Her tour will be June the 19th. And so that will be the first event in the All Points Bulletin experience that's coming up.
All right. So I wanted to see does anybody have any questions for Georgette that is watching? Any questions or comments? We would love to hear from you guys. Questions or comments?
Yes. I don't know. I know someone was trying to get on. She was like, I need the link. I don't know if she ever got in because we went live. So I'm not sure if she was in or not, but.
Okay. She could have watched on the Facebook page. Well, while we're waiting for questions, I'll ask one more question. what was one of the most difficult obstacles you faced thus far in your entrepreneurship journey?
Mm. Digging up my own roots, I would say, and just learning myself as I grow and as I evolve and becoming the person who God created me to be. It's hard work to really sometimes look at yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself and face those things that trigger you from your past, all of those things that we have, down deep in us that we never want to look at because for whatever reason we don't want to do the work, and it's just easier to avoid those things. I don't know if I'm just talking to myself, but I'm like, ooh, I think that has been some of the hardest things because that spills over into your business because you have to know who you are in order to trust your decisions and to trust what you are doing and to be able to, you know, make through these choices because when you are an entrepreneur and you're just out or everything's on you, and so you have to really look at those things that you may have not liked about yourself and just really sit with them. And so I would say for me it's like doing it myself, and if I do it then I'm able to help others do it. So we can't help others if we feel that but that part of now.
Oh, Georgette, you're starting to break up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, starting to break up. Well, hold on. You're kind of frozen too. I don't know. See, guys, we're live, and
No.
so hold on. We almost okay. Wait. Okay, try talking again.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll just keep it short at that then. Just say, yeah, just doing the hard work for yourself. So then that you can then in turn give it to the people who you are serving, because I think that's really, really important. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So it doesn't like we have any questions. So tell the audience, tell us all the things. How can we reach you on social media? How can we join the Ignite Her Country Club? Give us all the links, all the ats. Tell us everything.
I know. I'm like, whoo, I have a lot. I know. I'm like Crystal. Crystal has a lot too. Okay.
Mhm.
So I know. So on Facebook, you can follow me. Well, you can follow me, Georgette LittleJohn. I'll just start there with my personal page. And then I also have prayer tours, which is a group. And in that group, I literally pray every day. So Monday through Saturday, I'm there praying at 11 a.m. And Sunday, I do an early sunrise prayer. So you can follow me on prayer tours there. You can join Ignite Her Country Club simply at ignitehercountryclub.com. That is the online membership base that's all about igniting her. So you can go and find out more information about that. You can follow me on Instagram at the official Preaker. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok as the official Preaker as well. What else? Twitter, the official Preaker as well. No, I am a Preaker on Twitter. Um, what else? I think that's it. Did I get them all? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, that's all I'm on right now. Oh, and I have a YouTube channel as well. And then the podcast is Praying and Preaking podcast. Like I said, that's on Red Circle, or you can just go to all of the other platforms and just put in Praying and Preaking. That's the podcast. Yeah, I think that's it. And my
All right.
YouTube is, yeah, I have a prayer tours and I have Journey to Ignite Her on YouTube as well. So I have a couple channels over there.
Awesome. All right, so all of that, guys, will definitely be in the show notes. So when you're clicking on the show notes for episode 59, I'll have all of Georgette's links and handles so you can follow her and support her on all of her platforms. So, guys, that is really it. That's all we have for today. Thanks so much, Georgette, for coming on the show, even with no
Yes.
power. I appreciate you Still coming on, holding it down and doing the interview.
I know. Chris was like, "You want to reschedule?" I'm like, "No, we're gonna do this." But now I'm like, "Oh, I'm so dark." It's all good though. I thank you, Crystal. I hope that someone has and will gain something from it. It's always a pleasure to sit down and chit chat with you. You know how much I love you. This woman right here is like doing it, y'all. So know that you are very blessed to have her as your leader, as your confidant, all of those things, as your she army, getting in, get the thing done, slaying every day, all of that good stuff. So I thank you. And may
Oh,
God continue to bless everything that you touch. Seriously, everything. So
thanks, Georgette. I love you too. Don't make
yes,
me cry on here. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm about to
she's so
cry. So we're
silly.
gonna end this thing. So y'all, if you'd like to join a collective of women dedicated to being empowered and becoming the best version of themselves, join the She Army Facebook community. That link will also be in the show notes. I hope, guys, as Georgette said, that you all have found what we shared today to be helpful. And remember, you too can conquer if you slay hard every day. Take care, guys.
Deuces. Bye.